Before I begin today's video, if you're looking to read some conservative news from a trusted and reliable source, check out my friends over at patriotpost.us. A link for them is in the description box. They're currently offering a free subscription, so when you go over there and subscribe, tell them that ABL sent you. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the little dust up that happened at the White House social media summit a few days ago. Now, there's a lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but first, let's start from the top. Now, Donald Trump organized this event, or, the White House organized this event for the social media influencers, those that are pro-Trump, pro-conservatism, that represent the alternative media, which is now replacing the old school lamestream bitter media. And we'll talk about them in a little bit. I would have gone there, but I was not invited, unfortunately. I'm not sure what happened. I think I'm looking at how many Instagram or Twitter or Facebook followers you have. I'm not really as strong on those platforms, but I am on there. And if you want to follow me, there's links in the description box. My main platform is YouTube. But a lot of guys were there. I saw my man Brandon Tatum. Joy Villa was there. Mark Dice. James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. A lot of great individuals were there. David Harris Jr. I think I saw Terrence Williams there, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people were there. It was a hot event. Fantastic. However, towards the end of Trump speaking to the crowd of the social media influencers, the journalists, the independent people, and the old school media who were also there, it was hilarious because Trump did not have the old school media in the front rows as they may normally be. He had them in the back and put the new school, alternative media, and social media influencers in the front row. That was hilarious. Jim Acosta got offended. We'll talk about him in a moment. But at the end, after Trump was done speaking, according to Joy Villa, Trump did not take questions. And people in the old school media were kind of offended, like, hey, I want some questions. Can we get some questions? And she said, well, if you guys weren't fake news, maybe he'd take some questions from you. And then that's what kind of started off a chain of events. Jim Acosta posted a video that was at the tail end of the exchange. He was saying this is evidence, this is proof that the social media influencers, alternative media are antagonistic and they're just trying to start stuff with the old school media, basically. So what I'm going to do right now is play a couple of clips. The first clip will be what Jim Acosta posted, and I'll place the tweet from him on the bottom right-hand side of the screen so you'll be able to get some context there. And then I'll play what happened before that. I'll talk about those two clips, who were in the clips, my opinion on the whole situation, and then I wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further adu, let's go ahead and roll them.
Let's jump the pump.
You should not be attacking journalists like this.
For the record, he'd kick your punk ass.
Oh my God.
Fake news is over. Be real journalists. Some of you guys are journalists. The real journalists, thank you. But fake news is over.
This to that faith and freedom. What are you wearing?
Yes, it's freedom.
Does yelling at reporters mean freedom?
No.
Assault of the press.
Listen, we just report fairly. We want to love you guys. Journalism is a real art. Protecting free speech.
Don't be sad. Don't be sad.
No, I'm just standing alone. This is a group of people that are eager for demonic possession.
Demonic.
You're a journalist, right?
That's right.
Hey, come on over here and talk to me, brother. We can go outside and have a long conversation.
You're threatening me now in the White House. In the Rose Garden. You're threatening me in the Rose Garden.
Get him.
You are a punk. You're not a journalist. You're a punk.
Go home. Go home. Hey, Gorka, get a job.
Okay, so you saw that. You see what's going on. Now, it's clear that Jim Acosta is lying yet again. Or if he's not lying, he's not being 100% truthful. You may present a thing in a way that is misleading, so somebody believes a thing that is not the truth. In my book, that's lying. Okay, that's just what it is. you saw the second clip, which showed the full thing in context. Now, the guy that was threatening, talking about, oh, take it outside, is that, and the third, that was a guy by the name of Brian Karem. He has written or writes for Playboy magazine. I think he is or was a Playboy magazine White House correspondent. He also wrote for a local paper in the D.C. area in Montgomery County. And he's also a part-time CNN analyst. And he got that CNN analyst job after he caused a ruckus in the White House, having an exchange with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, screaming at her turn, talking with gum in his mouth, just kind of being a slob and a pig on camera. After that whole kerfuffle, he was able to get a part-time gig with CNN. Not surprising at all. That's also why, in my opinion, Jim Acosta decided to defend this guy and basically lie about it to make him, his essentially colleague, look good and to make the new school alternative better and citizen media look bad. All right. Now, the guy, Brian Karem, tried to defend himself, talking about, oh, I wasn't threatening anybody. I was just trying to say we can talk over here. But check out what Brandon Tatum, Joy Villa, and Brian Karem said to each other, and then you'll be able to see how he was trying to slide out of it, and he was also not being truthful as Jim Acosta did.
We're on the same team. I agree with that.
Took questions from us. Stayed an extra hour. You didn't have to, because we're citizen journalists and we respect you guys. But you got to stop reporting fake news. None of us want to do interviews with you guys.
How many
None of us
copy
want to talk
editors
to
do
you.
you
The
have?
president
How many
doesn't.
copy editors do you have?
We don't need to have that. We
Yeah,
just have
you
our
do.
voice.
You
We
know,
have
it's
an
not.
unbiased
That's not
opinion.
journalism. That's having a
Journalism is
voice.
not. That is journalism.
No, a copy editor and vetted facts is what constitutes legitimate
If
journalism.
you're going to tell us
when you
that
have
you're
a
a journalist,
staff,
then
if
let
you have
us
a
know when
staff
you have
of
a
people
political
that verify
opinion
your
piece.
facts, then you can call
Do you
yourself a
verify
reporter.
the
You have an
facts?
opinion.
Where are you
Label
from?
yourself as an opinion. When I write a
You
piece
should
that's an
label
opinion,
yourself that's
I
an opinion.
do.
Everything
And when
you
I
guys are
write a
posting is an
feature, it's
opinion.
labeled news. And when it's a feature, it's labeled news.
Ready,
And when
willing,
it's an
around, yeah.
opinion, it's labeled opinion.
And
That's
you
the
just
difference.
threatened
be fair.
Gorka just a minute
Now,
ago.
Gorka-
Yeah.
You just
Just be
you told him
fair.
to go outside.
Have some
I said I would
civic
talk to him. I
respect.
didn't threaten.
You
I'm
know what
standing
that
right
means.
here.
Everybody knows what that means.
just
No,
what are you
it
gonna
means
do?
talk. Who are you
You could
talking
talk to him right here.
I can talk.
Why would
and
you
I
take him
did.
outside?
I'll be happy to talk.
Just be a gentleman.
That is
Be
being a gentleman. I didn't
You're not
threaten to
fooling
kick his
anybody,
butt.
Okay, so you see that. You see how these people do. They mislead, they misdirect, they try to deflect. When Brandon said, hey, we know what that means. You were trying to say, let's take it outside, like, let's go fight. We don't have to go outside to talk. We're all talking right here, right now. So why can't you speak to him right here, right now? Okay? And if you want to talk to him privately, you can say, hey, take my number, let's talk, have dinner or something like that. Let's have lunch. Don't be like, oh, take it outside. Those are fighting words. All right. You might get hooked off on for that. And I might be able to get off for self-defense because you use fighting words against me. But that's a different story. And for now, I digress. These people on the left in the old school dying format of media are ridiculous. They try to put the new media down. They try to say, oh, you guys aren't real journalists. You guys are fake journalists, all this, that, and the third, while they put out constant fake stories, constant misleading stories, and they do everything in their power to work against the current administration. These people are not journalists. They're activists disguised as journalists. They want to show their degrees and their official titles and their positions with network television and whatnot, and old school dying newspapers that are broke, talking about, oh, I'm a real journalist and you're not. People in America and all over the world know the truth. They know that you guys are as real as a $3 bill. All right. And it's unfortunate that that's the case because you have some good people in journalism still. I read a lot. I read all day, every day. Most of my day is spent reading. And I read some of the mainstream media outlet sources, and some of the people that write for these individual companies are okay. But once you get into television, once you get into, you know, the prime time stuff, it gets really weird. It gets really squirrely. And then some people that want to transition away from the desk type jobs, from the writing type jobs, they may have been a little radical when they were on the desk, when they were faceless, but then when they go out into the media, when they're on camera, when people know their name, then they kind of ramp up a little bit and develop a whole personality that may not have existed beforehand. So These people are all phony, all fake, all hypocrites. And shout out to everybody that was there at the White House Social Media Summit. Hopefully, I'll be able to go next year. Wink, wink, White House. But that is all I got for now. So what say you? Do you think that the guy, Brian Karem, and Jim Acosta were lying? Brian Karem was trying to pick a fight. He was being real loud and boisterous, as is his MO. He had been doing it for at least a couple of years now, since he had this big outburst of Sarah Huckabee Sanders, which is why he has a part-time gig at CNN as an analyst. How you go from being a Playboy or Montgomery County writer to now all of a sudden you're on TV? It's because of how you behaved on camera in front of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I know she had a crazy time dealing with these nut jobs on the left for as long as she was in that particular role as the White House press secretary. And it got to a certain point, it didn't make any sense how these press conferences anymore. Why? All you're going to do is have those that are trying to grandstand for the camera to get their 10 seconds of fame to become the mainstream media's versions of social media stars. The people on the right, the independent journalists that are not on mainstream media, are much more genuine than these hacks on the left. But am I wrong here? Is the mainstream media still the golden standard? Do they still have the actual legitimate stamp behind them? Are they trusted more than the alternative media? I think that the old school media is losing reputation day by day. They're losing their positive name and they're gaining a negative one, all in the name of money. They may make some money in the meantime, in between time, but how long will that last? And is it worth losing their entire brand? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.